you sit right here, okay? Wick, if you could be right here.
Wick,
And then
see you again.
good to see you. Steve and Brad.
That's Amelia over there.
What do you want me, Brad, why don't you go right here and then Steve,
Hi.
Wick, flank Wick.
Are we gonna do the picture first?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm in the way. This is gonna be you. I think they want us to do the
we doing
picture
this?
All right.
All right, everybody.
So picture,
Quick
we've got this
photo
all
op.
figured out. We've rehearsed it, but now, no, we didn't. Here you go. Good.
Okay,
Oh, good. Good.
thanks, everybody. We're gonna open with a few comments from Wick, and then we'll get into questions.
Want to welcome Jrue Holiday to the Boston Celtics. Jrue, JT, Hendricks, and Lauren. Welcome to Boston. We're thrilled that you're here.
Thank you.
You're a two-time All-Star, five-time All-Defensive Team, one-time NBA champion. One's a very meaningful number, but it can be improved on, let's hope. Three times Teammate of the Year, which is unbelievable. And now you're a Boston Celtic. We watched practice today, the rest of us. Jrue was out there, and in the 21 years of being here, for me and Steve, we've agreed this was just one of the most energized, focused, driven, completely insanely, connected groups. I mean, Jrue and the rest of the guys are going to probably comment on that as the season goes on, but this was a great start to see the team and how excited everybody is. And they're excited to welcome you, Jrue. We've all known of you. You've won a gold medal with Jayson and the rest of Team USA as well. I omitted that. Your wife is a two-time Olympic gold medalist, by the way. So there's just a lot of championship qualities that you're bringing to the table. We want to welcome you to the Celtics sincerely. It means everything to us that you're here. You put us on your short list or however that all worked out. We're thrilled to be here with you. It means everything to us. We take this very seriously. When we partner. And I'm just thrilled that you're here as a Celtic. So thanks again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Steve Paliuka, maybe a word or two?
Good. Welcome, Jrue. It's fantastic to have you here. It's fitting. You're such a great community person, and we have our gala on Thursday night. It's the largest ever, and now people are lining up to even try to get in since you're coming, and there's so much excitement here. So we look forward to working with you in the community and seeing you on the court. And we've always respected you from afar in all those tough matchups that we had. And now you're on the
Real
right
fun.
side.
Yeah, I'm on the right side. Yeah.
We
So
like
thank
you
you.
now.
We love you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Wick. Thank you, Steve. Questions?
Jrue, can you just walk us through this whirlwind? You go from very recently saying you want to be a Buck for life to being traded and now coming to Milwaukee's biggest rival and looking to knock them out. What's that been
Yeah.
like?
It's definitely been a whirlwind. Just my family was established there, and we had school and things like that. We had friends, but it's also a part of the business. I feel like coming here is definitely my best chance of winning and being able to help the guys here that have made big moves and done great things in this league. So I'm here to really just help step up that game and become a champion. So it has been a whirlwind. Everybody here has been so gracious and graceful. Everybody's tried to tell me where to live and find out what neighborhood to be in and how close everything is. And that's just off the court, which I super appreciate because I'm all about family, and my family is the most important thing to me. But basketball-wise, all the guys have embraced me, all the coaches. Right when I got traded, Joe was the first person sending me clips and what to do on pick and roll defense or how to run the offense and things like that. So it's been very, very welcoming, and really just glad to be here, a part of this championship caliber group. And not only that, what this stands for. I mean, a Boston Celtic. And again, growing up in LA as a Laker fan, I know a lot of my family's probably hurt, but but I know this is a blue-collar town. They love people that work hard, and they put their heart into it. And that's just the type of person that I am, is every time I step into the court, I give you my everything.
Well, welcome, Jrue. Reports said you wanted to be with the Celtics, once the deal went down with Portland. What kind of made this a destination you wanted to be, and now that you're here, for you and Brad, how do you look at this as a long-term home for you?
I mean, you just look at the resume, right? You look at the history that this place has had. You look at the organization and everything that I've always heard about it. You look at how competitive they've been in the last 5-6 years, and even before that. Even when I was in Philly, I went Game 7 with Boston. Rondo hit 2 threes to go to the conference championship. So ever since I've been into the league and before that, this has been a championship caliber organization. So it was a very easy decision that this would be one of the places that I would have loved to come to. We also lost to you guys in 7 games not too long ago. So I think being a part of this type of organization and this group is something that I really wanted to be a part of.
I know it is early, Brad, but the long-term home for him, is that kind of a conversation that starts early or kind of develops over time?
Yeah, I mean, we've wanted him here for a long time, and when the time comes and we're allowed to talk about those types of things, you know, this is something that we hope can be a long-time relationship, obviously beyond these years of his contract. So, but we have a few months to go before we can get too deep into that stuff.
And he's communicated that with me from the beginning. Something that's huge for me is communication, being open and honest and upfront, and he's done that from the beginning, so I definitely appreciate that.
Jrue, what obviously it was kind of an unusual situation, but what was kind of the correspondence you had with Portland over the last week, and did they give you a sense right away this was the direction they were going to go, and what kind of communication did you have back and forth about kind of taking that next step?
Yeah, I think Portland blessed me, did a great job. Joe Cronin did a great job of communicating with me on what I wanted and how to proceed. Did a great job of putting me in a place that I get a chance to possibly win another one, which is super important to me. But working with them was very easy, very seamless, and made all this possible.
And Steve and Wick, you guys have made it pretty clear, you know, ultimate goal for several years now. What was kind of, I don't know, your directive to Brad and the rest of the front office at the start of this summer, and what have you thought about the way it's unfolded now that kind of the final product's here?
Well, as Brad said, we've really loved him since he was in New Orleans and watched us play. So the directive was do everything we can to get him here because he could be a key piece of a championship team. And
Believe me, I
it
know.
already looked, you know, he looks great out there with the guys today, and just we're very excited to be able to field a team like this. It feels fantastic.
We're adding everybody we can who will add character, commitment, and extreme talent. We're also, unfortunately, letting some guys go that also have those characteristics, and it's very hard to make a trade. It's my least favorite part and my favorite part of what goes on here, but we're doing absolutely everything we can to win. That's what, if you're the Celtics ownership, that's what you do, or you make way for somebody else.
And from a cultural standpoint, you know, he's a perfect fit for the Boston Celtics with all embodies, you know, hustle, community. As Wick said, teammate. I don't think anybody's gotten teammate of the year for 3 years.
Well, you should.
Ever. No, I'm not that good. Drew's a good guy, but
Thanks,
it's really fantastic cultural fit with us, and we're just so thrilled.
Jrue, you mentioned some of the playoff series you had against the Celtics. You've played in some big games at TD Garden. How would you describe that environment, and how much are you looking forward to having the fans behind you?
They're a bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. They get rowdy. They get in your face. Definitely one of the best 6 men in the league, if not the best. I love the aggression. I love the environment. I think they care more about hard work on defense and getting loose balls and stuff like that over maybe windmill dunks and things of that nature. But again, that's the type of guy I am. I'm 10 toes to the ground, and I'm going to push and grind as hard as I can. So the fans are literally insane, and I'm proud to be I'm proud to be a part of that coming in this year.
For Wick and Pags, in the past, there's always been questions about like how much is ownership willing to spend, but now with the second apron, it's not even a question of how deep into the tax you'll go, but the consequences of going that deep. So since you did that with this trade, how different was the decision-making process on whether to make such a big splash, and how do you balance making this big splash with the long-term financial burdens?
We haven't blinked at all. I was part of the committee that put the aprons in place with the players committee, and we're aware of all that. We're going to be over the second apron, I believe, Brad, and paying those penalties, and that's the way life is. But it's designed so that we can have more competition in the league, and we're fine with competition as long as we win.
It's a question for Jrue. What kind of conversations have you had with Joe so far in terms of your role? Obviously, you're a very versatile guard in terms of what he's looking for you there. And additionally, with just having the opportunity here, obviously the Bucks made a change at your position here. Now having a chance to go kind of toe-to-toe with them in this conference, how much are you relishing that opportunity going forward here?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys know Joe at all, he'll be super honest with you up front to the point. So I love that from him. And from the beginning, he's told me my role is to do everything. Do everything. Be all over the floor defensively, be able to control situations offensively, and situations calm us down and get us good shots toward the end of games. But I think when it comes down to it, it's about winning. It's about keeping this culture of winning. And Joe's a part of that, and the way he's communicated with me has been awesome.
Jrue, your resume speaks for itself on the court, but when we talk to Brad and Joe and your teammates about you joining this culture, they bring up your personality first, your poise, your commitment to the team, your unselfishness. I mean, how much do you take pride in people talking about you as the person, even before they bring up everything you've accomplished on the floor?
Yeah, it means a lot. Again, I guess I'm a pretty good teammate. I've got teammate of the year a few times, but I feel like I'm a relationship person. I love having relationships and getting to know people on a deeper level, not only my teammates, but even in the community, as I think the guys up here have seen. But that's really big for me. It makes life really meaningful to get to know people, especially in this business where it can get crazy and kind of rowdy. Sometimes it's cool just to kind of take it down a notch and sit down and get to know somebody.
Gary.
Jrue, you've been traded a few times. Emotionally, this one, did it hit you hard? Are you now more motivated to play against the Bucks? Like, how mentally, where are you at now, and where were you a few days ago when all this was going down?
A few days ago, before I got traded, it was just kind of like, where am I going to land? I had hopes of being here, and sometimes you don't want to get your hopes up just because, I mean, you can get your heart broken that way. But once I ended up getting traded here, that's what I was committed to. Again, a team who's been close to winning championships, who has those banners up there and has one covered because of how rich this organization is and winning is really, really important to me. And that's the reason why I play, is to win. I thought I had a chance of that in Milwaukee. It happened. Now I have the same chance, and winning is the most important thing to me. But going to play against Milwaukee, it should be fun.
Just wondering how soon after you found out you were traded that Joe was sending you clips, and what was your reaction?
It was like immediately. It was immediately. Yeah, it was right off the bat. Again, and just given the circumstances, I got traded, a couple of days before training camp, so I'm already behind the curve. He probably would have done that either way. If I would have gotten traded in midsummer or whatever, he probably would have done the same thing. But again, I feel like he's about his business. He's here to win and take this team to another level. And part of the reason why these guys brought me in here is to do that too.
Was it exciting for you to be brought, in right away and kind of get that?
It was. There was a sense of the unknown. And I think once I kind of got that certainty that, all right, this coach knows what he wants. He knows what he wants me to do, and is sending me clips right away just to be able to get on board and catch up as fast as possible. Because I'm a visual learner as well as just getting out there and learning. But I think to be able to kind of get that ahead of the curve was really big for me.
I have two. Jrue, you obviously it's new, but you've had a day to watch and a day to participate. I want to get your first impressions of being on the floor with these guys, but also Brad. We've seen you up on this dais a few times, and no disrespect to anybody else that's been up there, I've never seen you smile as much as you have today. And I just kind of wanted, you've talked about your desire to get Jrue many times here. What's this feeling like in the moment here that's kind of like bringing this reaction out from you?
Was your question first? Or
I don't know.
Were you
It seemed like- it seemed
overreacting to me smiling?
I think they'd rather get your question.
I mean, obviously, Brad, like, look, we know you. You're happy. You're like, this is the most emotion we've seen you show on here. Like,
Bad day to play poker with you.
Yeah.
That's true. But also, like, it does feel this is a little bit different.
Well, I think what Wick and Pag said, we just came out of practice, and we got a chance to see this group go at it. And if you were sitting anywhere right around the court, you were in danger of getting, hit by balls that were being thrown all over, like a typical second day of practice. And if you watched it really closely, you could tell that we made 1,000 mistakes. But you could also see, like, there's that thing that's there, right? There's a togetherness, there's an excitement, there's a joy, a competitiveness. I'm one of the few people that gets like an amazing joy out of the shell drill. And I told Jrue when he went and got into Phil Pressey and almost made him quit coaching when he was guarding him, that made me so happy. So I was, I guess maybe that's why I'm smiling. It was just the result of the practice. Obviously, I've talked about what I think of this guy as a person, and I've talked all along about like that. The idea of competitive character matters so much, not only to as the individual, but how it impacts the team. And I think he brings it as well as anybody around. And so that's, I just think that's contagious. And so we're going to have to continue to do that. And, it's not on him to bring it every day, and other people have to bring it for him too. And that's how teams work. But we have a lot of guys that were competing with joy today. Not very well yet, but certainly with an upside that looks good.
Jrue, your question is simple. It's just your first impressions of playing with these guys quickly.
Well, it was kind of a two-parter. I think watching them first, you can tell some of the chemistry that guys had already had and the bonds that they had, which is really cool. You could tell that they were hungry and really about the things that maybe didn't work last year, but making them better this year. That's just from watching and then going out there and actually playing with them because I've played against them for so long. It felt great. It felt great to get out there and compete. We know that our best players are the most competitive ones, and they're kind of leading the charge. JT and JB were out there after people defensively, and I know how guys, I know how it can be being a two-way player, but I think for us to be a great team, obviously those two are going to carry us along a lot of the way. But today was good for me. Again, I hadn't done much on the court since Wednesday just because I wasn't allowed to. But I was tired. It was intense mentally and physically. And like you said, it was a good day.
Hey, Jrue, I just want to piggyback off of kind of what Brad was talking about there with the competitive nature of not only adding you to this group, but just the group as a whole. When you walk out there today, obviously you watched yesterday, today you got to participate, but like, what is the feeling that you take away of the competitive nature that's in that locker room? And maybe how does it compare to what you've experienced through the first X amount of years that you've been in the league?
There's definitely a hunger that I love. There's this hunger to be the best that you can individually and as a team. And I think when you have that, you always have a chance of winning, being that competitive. And again, you feel in the locker room. I think for me, especially coming in a little nervous, just how is it going to be the first day? You see Joe the first day almost losing his voice. He's out there running around, passing the ball to people, telling them to get back, stopping practice. But I think once I actually got out there and was able to play and kind of get that chemistry, I felt more of that competitiveness.
You didn't look nervy or nervous. You were pouncing on guys. I was sitting 5 feet away, like as if on courtside. You were playing 5-on-5, and you would just like go envelop them immediately, you're 6'5", you might. It's really something to watch this guy play.
I appreciate them saying that. I felt a little. Again, this is my first day.
If you were nervous today, I'd hate to see tomorrow.
Yeah, we were marveling at the play where I don't think we've ever seen Jaylen Brown be stopped going from the hoop when he has a full head of steam, and he just ran right into Jrue, and it was it. It was incredible. One of the most incredible things I've seen in practice.
Jaylen's really strong. I remember that play. Yeah. No, I appreciate them saying that. It was, again, initially there's nerves there, just being the first practice and what it's going to be like. But I think gradually as it went on, it ended up being a fairly good day.
What's something that you learned in 2021 in that championship season, or a lesson that was reinforced that you feel like you can imprint on this team throughout the journey?
That it's hard. It's harder than everything you've ever done before. And you're going to be tired, exhausted, but it's about who has the mental toughness, who can fight through and make plays honestly toward the end of games and the series, but who's the most connected. The team that wants it the most will go after it and get it.
Final couple questions. Adam, go ahead.
Charles was saying yesterday how he feels like you take as much like joy and pride in like unlocking things for teammates as you do your own success. When you obviously you played against Jayson and Jaylen for years now. When you watch them, what are ways you feel like you might be able to make them better?
Honestly, I want to make the game easier for them. I know that I am a threat offensively. I know that I do love to pass and really be that type of player, but I can also be aggressive offensively too. Not only that, defensively, I feel like I'm pretty good. There might be times where Jaylen's picking up full court and he's using so much energy defensively. I can take that over. I can be the guy where he's one of our best scorers. I can help him in that way, conserve energy to go down there and score. So I'm really just here to serve. I'm here to do really well next to everybody on the court. But for the most part, I think it's about winning and helping out my teammates just become as good as possible, as good as they can.
Wick, I just want to go back to the very first thing that you mentioned, and you said this is one of the most energized, focus-driven, insanely connected group that you've seen. What makes it so different this particular year? What do you feel is at the root of this drive, this different level that you see?
It's hard to just really quantify, and it was just an emotional reaction, but it's an authentic reaction. It's how I really felt. I remember 2008 when that team got put together, that feeling. And Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen walked into the first practice and joined everybody else, and all of a sudden things just felt different. And Paul Pierce was here today trying to bring some of that magic, and he brought a lot of joy and energy to it. I just want to say there was just a real feeling of optimism, and also I think annoyance. I mean, we've been in 5 conference finals in the last 6 or 7 years. We've been knocking on the door. We've been in the finals, leading the finals, and lost. Last year we were down 0-3, came back and lost the game 7. It couldn't be more frustrating. So I think out of annoyance and regret comes what do we do to make it better? And I think that's the feeling I'm getting for the guys. I don't want to speak for the guys. It's my personal feeling about myself as well, because I blame myself for when we don't win. I mean, it starts with the people who are making the decisions and the group here at this table. But speaking for the seemingly the guys and we up here all share the same feeling, which is it's about time that we really get started and go somewhere. And so the journey, it's about the journey, but the destination, would be pretty great if we can get there.
There was just an electricity in the gym today when you get such great players together playing at a high level. And Paul Pierce turned to us and said he's never seen an NBA practice in his whole entire career that they went that hard, that fast, for that long. So he was really smiling as well. Brad and him were smiling today.
And just one, can I ask just one more follow-up question for Jrue? The other day, Jaylen Brown called you an assassin. Just kind of wanted to get your reaction.
We've had some battles. I feel like he knows my competitive nature. He knows I don't back down from anybody, and what somebody can dish out, I can dish it right back. So I think just based off of experience, he knows that the energy and the competitiveness that I'm going to bring on a night in and night out basis is going to be something that you can always count on me to do. So I appreciate him saying that, because honestly, he's one of the best players that I've played against in my life, one of the hardest ones to guard. The play that they were talking about today, where we kind of stood each other up, like I did kind of stumble. Like, even though I know I'm strong, Jaylen might be stronger than me, which is crazy to say as a guard. But he, I think that competitive nature in practice, in training camp, throughout the year, competing against each other like that, knowing that like I know his tendencies, he knows mine, to be able to go at each other like that consistently, I think just makes us better.
Final question, Gary.
Wick, you probably touched on it, but how big of a season is it's been 15 years since the last championship, and as much as you guys have built on that, and you guys haven't won, how big of a season is this? Is this the biggest season since you guys got the initial big three together? I mean,
well,
can you quantify that?
it's a big season. I mean, my initial thought, right when you asked that, was to say, I look at the next 6 years as a real opportunity for us, and that's not to take anything away from this year, but we're going to keep doing this until we uncover that banner, until we print something on that, or we're going to die trying. That was the first quote 20 years ago when we came in. We're going to win banner 17, or I'm going to die trying. And we're going for banner 18 now, and that we're going to keep going. And now it would be nice if it was this year, and we have the makings this year, but so do a bunch of other teams. So it's all about how connected can they be, how lucky can we be with injuries, how can the ball bounce just right. But we're giving it everything we got, and I'm thrilled that Jrue is here as a Celtic. It's been a long-time goal, and it just feels absolutely great right now.
Thank you, everybody. That's a wrap.
Good.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
See everybody
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in for a long day. Thank you.